welcome. It's Domain Dave again from Cheapwinefinder.com. Coming at you with another wine review that we put on the Cheapwinefinder.com website. We are relentless because, we're having fun. So what do we have today? This is budget-friendly January. People do dry Januaries and stuff. Nah. January's no time to quit drinking. Nothing else to do. Summertime, July, things are going on. Stay straight then. And here, what do we got here? We got a Trader Joe's $7.99 Sauvignon de Seguin from Chateau Seguin 2020. It's a Bordeaux Blanc. If you don't know what Bordeaux Blanc is, it's Sauvignon Blanc. Typically, it's blended with Semillon. That's the two grapes that work for Bordeaux Blanc. This one is 100% Sauvignon Blanc. And there's a chateau. There's an estate that the estate where this chateau is was built in 1790. And the estate itself has been there since Charlemagne's time in the 800s or whatever Charlemagne was around. Which is a long time ago. I'm going to take a sip. A lot of times these Trader Joe's import wines, you don't know who they are. This one had a website. I put a link on the review on cheapwinefinder.com if you're interested in checking it out. It's not super informative, but it does have some things in there. And, they do make red wines. And this is AOC. AOC is the top level of French wine. There's levels inside the AOC. And this is, there's Grand Cru and stuff. This isn't one of those, but it has to conform to some seriously strict guidelines. And it's from Bordeaux. Decanter magazine gave it 92 points. It's pretty good. It's fermented and aged in stainless steel, like most Sauvignon Blancs in this price range are. That's one thing about Sauvignon Blanc, inexpensive value price Sauvignon Blanc. They're usually fairly simply produced. Just send the grapes in, crush them, ferment them, age them for a little bit, bottle it up, and it tastes great. It's one of those wines that it's hard to screw up. Some wines you can do too much or too little. This just doesn't need a whole lot. And if you haven't had the Bordeaux varietal, it's different than New Zealand. It's different than California. It's different than Chile. It's actually even different than the Loire Valley, which is where it's from. And all of them are slightly different, but I like them all. It's like Sauvignon Blanc's like one of those grapes or one of those wines that you almost can't do it wrong. And too cheap, it's almost like since all you do is pick the grapes, crush it, ferment them, bottle it, you almost can't get too cheap. And $7.99 for a French wine. Well, actually, this is 4.9 euros in France. There is a thing on the website where you can click to buy it in France, and in the stores it's 5.9 euros or 4.9 euros, which is $5 or $6, which is exactly the kind of wines that people in France that drink wine for lunch and dinner, that's what they pay. Wines that cost a few euros. There's this notion that they're all buying, fancy Bordeaux's and Burgundies and what have you, but they're just like us. They want a good wine at a good price that they can have whenever they want it and not have to save up for. With some of those fancy wines, you're not drinking too many of them. They had no stuff. This is Sauvignon Blanc. It tastes great. 12.5 alcohol. Low. It's still ripe and still juicy. A little bit of pineapple, a little bit of tropical fruit, lemons, peaches, pears. A little bit of anise. Got some salty things going on. Soft spice. Yeah, it's not that bold wines like New Zealand gets. It's got a little more subdued, but it's got a little weight behind it too. You know, it's a nice little wine. And like I said, this is what the French drink. Don't think $7.99 is too cheap for a wine. It's not. I mean, that's if you believe the marketing. Oh, you have to pay this much to get a good wine. No, you don't. I think I'm on my fourth sip, and this is just a nice little wine. Is it the greatest Sauvignon Blanc I ever had? No. But would I buy it again and drink it again? Yes, I would. It tastes pretty good. Is it a food wine? Because I think most of the time you think of French wines as food wines. They do drink, and I don't know if it is. I think this is more of a sipping wine. I mean, I think you could have it with, cheeses and a light. I wouldn't have it with anything too heavy or complicated. But it sips really well. This is, that's something that the French don't necessarily do when they go out at night. Because they drink wine for lunch and dinner. When they go out, they have something other than wine for the most part. Because, that's just, there's a time and a place for everything, and they already had their wine. But this might be, and it's a wine that's made to sell in France. So sometimes they make it just for the American market. That is a wine that you wouldn't get anywhere else. I mean, that the French wouldn't necessarily drink, but this one is, because it's for sale in France. It's a state wine. It's a chateau wine. A chateau that's been there forever. And it's Trader Joe's. And it tastes good. It's only $7.99, and it's January, and we're being cheap this month. Well, we're cheap 12 months a year, but there you go. I took another sip. That's a good wine. So that's it for me. Check out the website, www.cheapwinefinder.com for the written review. And thanks for listening. And like us, we like your podcasts. And got more coming up. I got some more cheap wines happening. We went a little upscale in November and December. We're bringing it back down to earth in January. So adios, keep it cheap, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll be talking to everybody before too long. Bye-bye. Adios.